Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to Thursday. My name is Ashley and I am a certified health coach. I'm excited to be here tonight. These are kind of my bread and butter, if you want to use a pun, that's not appropriate, but it is. This is where my lifeline, this is my, I get refueled from this community and this community call. So if this is your first time, welcome. If you are a seasoned vet and been here a bunch, welcome back. So tonight, what we're talking about, and I think is such an important part of our health journey, is essentially our community. That is, this right here is, I was looking as I was prepping for this call, I was looking in our Habits of Health book. So I don't know if you guys have yours right in front of you, but I have mine. This thing lives on my desk. But when I was looking into what does this community represent, and I love what Dr. A says, because I am not an author, but I will quote a great author. He writes in chapter 18, if you want to check this out. It says, building a support system is the single most important thing you can do to incorporate and maintain the habit of health. And I think that so often we look at our program as the fuelings. Oh yes, I have a health coach. Yes, the habits of health system. But I think that the center of that, at the core of that, is the support that we have. And that's kind of really, what we're talking about tonight, is how do we utilize that to help us on our journey, because it is so much more than a video screen on a weekly call or a Facebook thread of lots of recipes and encouragement and celebrations. It's so much more than that. It also goes out to not just our online community, but it really goes in how do we become the ripple effect for everybody in our surrounding, outside of the social media world. So really, I think as I was looking through, I was looking at what community and how that looks. It looks different for everybody. I can tell you a little bit of my journey. I was 5 pounds away from my healthy weight. I didn't really have a ton of weight or, to get to my healthy weight. But what I realized in going through that journey was that one thing I was missing in my life that had nothing to do with the number on the scale was essentially this community. I have owned my own business for 7+ years. I worked for myself by myself. And I often joked around about how the boss made me get up early to go to work when it was my own doing. But after, the process of going through this journey and really getting to meet people on this journey and celebrate with people, was that I was missing that joy. It's one thing to do the fuelings, read the book, connect with your coach, but it's another thing when you can actually engage in the community and do life with people. I think that's so important for us. I think a lot of times we forget that we're supposed to do life together. I don't know if anybody is a football fan or a sports fan, but I imagine, what would I rather do? Would I rather go to a football game by myself and watch my team win or lose, or struggle to get into the end zone? Or would I rather go with 70,000 people? And the simple answer is, of course, I want to be there with people. It's such a much more enjoyable experience, even if my team loses, which we won't talk about my team because they left San Diego. So, but what I want to do is I want to have somebody share who's very early in her journey. She is 2 weeks in, Sarah? Where are you at? Let me see if I can find you. Do you want to pop yourself up? Oh, actually, I can unmute you. Sarah, you're 2.5 weeks in. Would you just kind of share your story and of what community and what this journey has meant to you in the last 16, 17 days?
Sure. Well, when Ashley's my coach, And I had only known her a few weeks, just kind of getting to know her still, when I reached out to her, because I knew she had something to offer and I knew I needed something. And yet it was a little bit scary. So when I called her, talked to her, told her my story, she offered me the program and I took it. And then the next, day or two, start kind of thinking, what have I done? What am I doing here? But she connected me right away with the Facebook group. And as I love that that group is so active that when I pull up my Facebook feed, I just see post after post after post. So I can't miss it. It's kind of in my face. And I started looking and really reading. And it was so encouraging to me because my tendency is to want to try to go it alone. I'm not much of a joiner. I like to kind of be independent and do my own thing. And so I would be a little hesitant usually to join in and say, oh, there's all these people. And I'd be, no, thank you. I'll just do it on my own. That's kind of my way. But as I saw what was happening on that Facebook page, it was just something so beautiful that my mind very quickly was changed from, this is a group I kind of don't really want to be a part of, to, this is a group that I don't just need, I recognize my need for them, but these are the exact people that I want in my life for any reason because of the positivity and the encouragement and the willingness of people to share their stories, the ups and the downs. And I feel like it really set my mind in the right place to get started, so that when my box arrived, I was ready to go much more mentally than I think I would have been without it. And it's still something, I get to the end of my day and I don't spend a ton of time on Facebook, but if I haven't been on there, I find myself going on just to see what's happening in that one place. Even if I don't have a day where I feel like I really need something, I feel like it's just a place now where I want to be. And it's been a super, super important part of my first 2.5 weeks.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I love it. Now, what you were mentioning earlier when we were talking about, you sharing, and you had said something about, it's like you got that encouragement, but now you're kind of in this another part. And would you touch on that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I was telling Ashley earlier, even before she asked me to share about this, I had kind of decided one of my little mini goals I need to make for myself is to start participating in the group, because I like to go and just see and receive. And I tend to be kind of private and, reserved in that way. But that's my new little goal for myself, is to start to engage and give back to the group that I received so much from.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think it's so many people feel what you felt of just being like, I can do it. I got this. I don't need any help. I don't need another recipe. I don't need another but in reality, I think the fact that we get to do this together, and I think, Sarah, you touched on that beautifully, is that it's not so much of a place, because I was in your shoes as well. It was like, I don't need a group. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this thing? And then when you go and you start to see everything and see the celebration, it is a sense of, oh, you know what? I really want to surround myself with these people. I really want to, celebrate, because it is exciting. Life is meant to be done together. I reached my goal in 6 weeks, 2.5 years ago. I don't think I would still be here had it not been for this community. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing. Next, I want to go over to Charlena, who is also, I think if I'm correct, you are also pretty early in your journey. So would you share a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I started my journey I'm on my 3rd week. And I had a coworker. I'm a teacher. I teach out in National City at Lincoln Acres Elementary, teach 4th grade. And so a coworker of mine, Delilah, who's my coach, she was talking about this amazing program. She just finished her goal weight. And so she decided to become a coach. And so she was sharing just this amazing program. And before then, you know, I had made, like in December, I went to the doctor, I weighed 218 pounds, and I was like, I got to get this weight off. So back in December, I started losing weight. And then when I talked to Delilah, I was down to about 210. So from December until April, I had lost, you know, 8 pounds. And so she just seemed, maybe the way she presented it, and it just seemed so something that I needed to do, you know? And so she got me going on it, and I am a coach now. I haven't even finished, you know, but I'm just so, I love the program. And a lot of people talk about like the weight loss, but for me, I have way more energy, and I had my ankles used to swell, you know, and it was something that always happened because I'm flat-footed. I just have bad feet, but they always swelled. So I just, you know, I never attributed it to eating. And, you know, since I've been on the program, my ankles don't swell anymore. You know, like this, like in the morning, they would like be sometimes swollen. I haven't had any swelling. And so some of the benefits of what she was telling me beyond the weight loss, which is great, I have really enjoyed that. And then at our work, speaking to community, Delilah has just spread like, it's just spread like vines, you know? So there's a lot of teachers now that are actually doing the program, who are benefiting from all the great things of Optavia. So we probably have right now within our district and at our site, about maybe close to 10 teachers out of like, there's like 35 teachers. So maybe almost a third of us who are starting to do the program, and it's really beneficial. We have like groups, we help each other out like at recess time and lunch, like, you know, I'm like, some are just starting and they'll even come to me and say, I'm feeling this way, or, you know, and just giving each other advice, even within the school setting throughout the day, coaching each other, helping each other. So I just feel like definitely the community is important. And I'm more like Sarah that just spoke. I'm pretty reserved. I'm not a person who shares a lot online. I'm more of a receiver. So I'm always looking through the thread and, you know, when people post recipes or just things that they encounter. But I am just like Sarah, I'm trying to add more and comment and encourage people more. So that's kind of, you know.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Charlene. I love what you said it as far as how, like, the ripple effect, right? It's so crazy how one person made a decision to start getting healthy, and how that really does influence your surroundings, which allow, I think, you know, Evan said in the chat, allow for that extra support of, you know, where are you surrounding it? In the book, we talk about, Dr. A suggests writing down the 5 people you hang out with. And I think that's such a cool thing to do, because if you actually do look at your 5 closest, it's what, I don't know that quote, you are who you hang out with, right? So who are you hanging out with? Who is, you know, and are those people speaking positivity into your life? And, or are they speaking negativity? And regardless of what the answer is, I think the one thing that I love in this community is that you can use us, you can use the Facebook page, you can use these community calls for that initial support. And then as your initial support kind of continues, it becomes a ripple effect to your actual family and friends, because I can tell you, I'm Filipino. We like our rice and lumpia. It's a challenge, but by my brother getting healthy, because my brother's my coach, my family getting healthy, my mom's gotten healthy, it's become a ripple effect. And now we don't even have to worry about what are we going to eat. It's healthy. We know that because it's so much bigger than about the food. And I love that. I love that you shared that and how it is affecting all of our teachers here in San Diego. So that's awesome. Okay. So the last person that I want to ask to share is Jen. Jen and I have been now, we have traveled together now for a while, for a couple of years. So, and I would just love for you to share your story.
Poppy! Oh. Poppy, come!
That is
back here.
Hold on 1 second. Jen, are you there? Can you pop yourself off mute?
Definitely. Hi.
Oh, there you are. Let me find you so I can spotlight you. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. Just to piggyback on what Sarah and Charlena and Ashley have talked about, I too was plugging into chapter 18 a little bit and thinking about this call tonight. And I just want to read one little snippet. It's whether it's a friend, a coworker, family member, or larger, more organized group, or working with others, it can make all the difference. When 2 or more people share similar goals and values, people create synergy. So along with encouraging each other, you'll have someone to walk with, dine with, and build healthy habits with. And last week I was on a call with one of my mentors, and she said to me, "You will go in the direction that you face." So I kind of liken this community to that of like a small church group, right? Your small groups. If you continue to surround yourself with people, like-minded people, you're going to be influenced by them, and you're going to face in the direction that you're intending to go. So we have an incredible community here in addition to your health coach, in addition to these community calls each week, and virtual support groups or support calls that your individual coach may hold. We have nutrition support. We have local events. And I will tell you that staying plugged into the local events, even though it's not always convenient, and we all have busy schedules, the local events here in San Diego at various coaches' houses, healthy happy hours, or different coach dinners or client dinners, just staying plugged in helps me keep my mind in the game. These Thursday night calls, they're right during dinner, or when I'm prepping for dinner, I'm driving home from work. So just having the call on while I'm driving, or having it in my kitchen while I'm cooking dinner, it helps focus my mind for the week. So there's just so many avenues of support that I encourage you all to continue to lean into, not just the Facebook page and not just your coach, but reach out to other clients, participate in your local events, and there's just a wealth of opportunities for you to get engaged. One little final word that I want to talk about, and I'll share a little bit more about my own journey, is something that Dr. A talked about in here. One of the leading cultural anthropologists of our time, a woman named Inga, I don't know her last name, how to say that, evaluated a group of individuals who mastered successfully weight loss by losing at least 60 pounds and keeping it off for 5 years. Although they had all lost weight in different ways, these long-term stories had one thing in common. They all changed the way they lived their lives. So this takes me back to, you will go in the direction that you face. They all made a 180-degree change in orientation in the way they experienced the world. So for me, participating in my local events, being integrated into the online community, being plugged into these calls each week, it actually led me to being successful beyond the 5 and 1. So I've been on plan for over 3 years. I lost 23 pounds in 7 or 8 weeks. And I have maintained for 3 years. And it's not because I did it on my own. It's because I plugged in here. And the most amazing piece of this community is the opportunity to pay it forward. And like Charlena and Ashley alluded to, creating that ripple effect, integrating the people who are involved in your everyday life. It's not just people on plan that are our community. It's your husband and your wife and your sisters and your parents and the people who you live life with, and bring them into your life, bring them into your journey. If you're going to dinner to celebrate somebody's 50th birthday and you're worried about how you're going to navigate the restaurant, bring them into it. Be honest with them. Tell them, I'm getting healthy. Be a part of this. Join me on this journey. That doesn't necessarily mean talk them into doing Optavia program. It means bring them in to be your support network. And so you don't have to hide it, and you don't have to do it by yourself, because you know that your aunt or your sister or your husband has got your back when you go and make a modification on a menu item at the restaurant. That's what it's all about. It's surrounding yourself and integrating the people around you into your journey. And if you really want to become a coach and pay it forward, and that's the best accountability that you can imagine. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, Ashley. And thank you for being such an awesome part of my community.
Oh, Jen, I love you. You're so awesome. I could not have said it any better than that. I think it is such a monumental, like, it's a cornerstone. I think it's the foundation of what else could happen. There's so much power in Me Too. And I think a lot of times we feel like I'm the only one that is struggling with this. And this community, not just, on our group page, or not just on these community calls, but in everything, in every regards to that. I think a lot of times we like to isolate because we're shameful, maybe we're guilty, maybe whatever the issue is. But I think that when we can lean in to the community, and when we can lean into our coach, and we can just say, you know what, I'm struggling with that. That was such a hard thing for me, being a former personal trainer. I thought I knew everything about losing weight and getting healthy. That was until I needed to lose weight and get healthy, But when I got over that pride or that fear of what are they going to think that I'm a trainer. I've been a trainer for 15 years and I don't have it all together. I think that can be a challenge for a lot of us. But it's within this community that I have found that power to say, oh, you know what? I do that too. Me too. I struggle with that. I struggle with that mind game of saying yes to the things that I know are not going to help me. I know that they're not going to help me, but being able to find those support system, that outside support, I think is so vital, because what it does is it connects you with the person to move you forward, but then also it kind of also connects you to bring and help somebody say, you know what, I've been there. I know how you feel. I know where you're at. I love the quote that I'm probably going to butcher it, but Jeremy's dad always says is, where you're at, I have been, and where I am is where you can be. And I think that there is so much power in that Me Too of, hey, I've been there, you can do it. And then there's also power in, I need this, can you help me up? And I think that this community has really done for a lot of us who have been around and have stuck around in this community is essentially that is, you know what, I may slip, I may stumble, I may fall, but being able to have somebody really close by to say, hey, are you okay? Are you doing okay? Let me help you up. Let me help you up. But also too, I'm not gonna lie, I've been challenged a lot more to move forward. So doing things that I never thought that I would be able to do, not just in my mental health, but my physical health too. Anybody that knows me, I've never wanted to run. And something that because of this group and this, you can do anything mentality that this group offered us, I think it's funny to, like, I could say I ran a marathon because of this group. It was only a half, but I did it not because I believed I could. I did it because I saw other people saying, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And if I fail, it's okay. I'm going to fail forward, and I love that about this community. And Yeah, and I think Jen hit it on the nail. I mean, I think this community is as you lean into the community and you gain that strength to kind of stand on your own 2 feet, it gives you the strength to be able to pay it forward and to help bring people in. And that is something that is incredibly beautiful and wonderful. I see in the chat, there's a couple things about local events. I would suggest connecting with your coach. They can kind of help you find, I know we're not all in San Diego, but we can definitely find people in the community. Man, we're a couple minutes early. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed with myself that we were able to do that. So I just wanna thank Sarah and Charlena and Jen for sharing your amazing stories. I think there's definitely a lot of Me Too going on tonight, and hopefully we will see you guys next week. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. I heard Jen Lowe